What's going on, folks? So I'm very excited to talk about this because, being a huge fan of Insecure, and if you've been following the channel, I've been covering Insecure season 4 extensively each and every week. And considering that, one of the main stars of Insecure is coming out with their debut comedy special, I had to check it out. So, of course, we're talking about, if you watch Insecure, Molly, but Yvonne Orji. Absolutely a tremendous special. This is her debut comedy special titled Momma, I Made It. It is exclusively on HBO platforms, and it will be premiering Saturday, June 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I had fun with this comedy special. And the reason why I had fun with this comedy special is because this was a little bit unique. First of all, for her debut comedy special, I think she did an overall good job on a lot of different elements, and I will talk about in a second. But also, I thought this was a little bit unique as well because there's the part of me that who's invested into getting to know who she is, because as much as this is a comedy special, it is almost like a documentary too, sliced all up together. So I was curious about her upbringing, and she got to talk about a lot of the she went back home, and I'll go into detail in a second, but she went back home and you got to see sort of the motivation and the driver points of some of her jokes, and then you cut back to the stand-up special itself, and you kind of seeing how it all correlates together. So it was unique in that factor, and I did truly appreciate that. But yes, we do get to go back home, the parts that made her who she is. Lagos, Nigeria, which is a beautiful city with beautiful people. It's the largest city in Nigeria, and you really got to see what her people meant to her, and how much home made her who she is, and how much it means to her, along with not only just her people but her family and everything. So it was really special that we were able to see that side of her. Also, a lot of the motivation behind her jokes, and people of African descent, you really get to find a really connecting and relatable points with her, that truly gives you that added extra bonus into watching it. So it was overall really, really cool. But the comedy special was recorded live here in the DMV in DC. It was recorded at Howard Theater, so the DMV people showed up, showed out, and had an amazing time. If you didn't know, Yvonne lived in Laurel, Maryland, also DMV, for people who do not know about the geographic. But nonetheless, it was just cool that, especially with last week's episode of, or whatever week it was, of Insecure, we got representation of the DMV. It's always good that the hometown is getting a lot of love. So I thoroughly appreciated that this special was at the DMV, because it was special to her. Her mom worked at Howard Hospital for many, many years. So it was truly special for her to do this in the DMV, and for me as a fan for it to be here home in the DMV. So I love that, and the DMV people brought that energy. So hats off to you guys for real. But so yes, we got to really go back into her Nigerian-American upbringing, and that provided so many outlets for jokes, because number one, her Nigerian accent is everything, and it truly had me dying the entire time. As much as she has her American accent, which you hear on the regular, she tacks back into her Nigerian accent at any points, and being able to really flip between the two as far as with storytelling, it's absolutely hilarious. But like I said, I really think that there's a couple of things that's important here. So with comedy, if anybody who are fans of stand-ups, sometimes there's jokes that's just so over the top, it's not real. I love the fact that her jokes really did have substance to it. So you hear her crack the joke, and then you actually go back to see the footage of where that joke actually was derived from. So it brings a lot of authenticity to the storytelling here. And just ultimately solidified everything that she was saying. So I did definitely appreciate that. And I will say, while it has the stand-up part and then the documentary side of things, in the first part of this special, you do get the flicking back and forth, and I do think it halts the pace a little bit of the stage presence and the comedy special. But overall, in the second half, it's just straight comedy, and she just gets into it, and the energy just boosts the entire time. But at the same time, too, it's a 2-for-1 special here. You get the documentary and you get the comedy special. So that's pretty cool and unique, like I said. And I think, and again, I can't really tell you how appreciative I am as a fan to really get a glimpse into her personal life. So I definitely did like that. But let me tell you a few things that really stood out to me about this special. Number one, for her being her debut special, she had really good stage presence. The mannerisms and dancing, she really brings the crowd for a ride. So I definitely like that. She also appeared to be very comfortable with being on the stage as well. I mean, if you hear stories about Camille, they talk about how it's just a whole new ball game when you up there. She absolutely felt comfortable, looked comfortable, and I think she did just a really good job. The way how she mimics other people's voices are just so good and just so funny. I really, 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 really love that. But again, like I said, I just really love the fact that she used practical jokes. She had jokes about of storytelling, then she goes back and show you the story. So it's like, yeah, that was all authentic. So I like that. Sure, a lot of people do a lot of the fictional storytelling, and it just goes over the top and it's funny. But also at the same time, I do appreciate these type of jokes having real legit substance into providing for her for the whole special. So I really did like that at all. But some of my favorite segments of the stand-up was number one, I thought when she was talking about how Nigerians don't fight, they give advice. That was absolutely hilarious. When she interviewed her parents, I thought was really, really funny. And how they all pretty much wanted her to be a doctor. I gotta say too, like, we'll come back in a second about the title, but like how her parents really wanted to make her a doctor, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. They were just not acceptance of anything if it wasn't a doctor. But I also loved how she talked about being able to do auto pay on bills. That was so funny. And then ultimately the big cream of the crop was talking about going on dates. I thought that was just so funny. But the crowd was totally invested. They responded back and really engaged the entire night. And I think for the viewers at home, you will absolutely be doing the same. You will absolutely take away some very memorable quotes from this. A whole me will definitely be one that you will have in your repertoire by the end of this. And also some other little things. I don't want to give too much away. But, again, for her debut comedy special for HBO, I think this was truly, truly special. And the title, Momma, I Made It, just pays so many dividends. You just appreciate it so much more after you finish watching it because, she talked about, being in New York, not having any money, her parents clearly not accepting her choice in being a comedian. They were not for that at all. That was not one of the occupations that was acceptable in that house at all. So she had to go through that, wanting to live out her dream and going out on the edge and doing so, and the sacrifices in doing so. And I think it's just nothing better for her to be able to go home, to be able to call home and say, "Mama, I made it," as a matter of success in her career, and her parents are fully acceptable of that. So overall, this is a great special, a great time. You will be able to view this June 6th, 10 p.m. exclusively on HBO. Please, after you check it out, let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, stay tuned because many, many, many more reviews are on the way.